Ferris State just won their third national title in 4 years under head coach Tony Annese, and when he's been on the sideline, they have not lost a playoff game since 2019. They are a dynasty at the Division II level, with Annese having no plans to leave for a bigger school due to loving being at Ferris State. This is the story of how Ferris State became a dynasty. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who your favorite Division II school is in the comment section below. This video is brought to you by Layup. Have you ever thought to yourself, I wish I didn't bet on the game last night, what a dumb bet. A parlay on the game seems fun, but I always regret it after. You need to play Layup. Now, you could win money on big games by saving instead of gambling. I love playing with Layup. Layup sends me 3 picks every day. If I hit all the picks in a day, I win a payout. Layup increases their payouts if I increase my savings. And because it's savings, not gambling, you can withdraw your deposit at any time. It makes games interesting. I partnered with Layup because they are providing entertainment but not preying on people. It's fun logging on to check your picks each day. Join using my referral code ETGYOUTUBE, that's ETGYOUTUBE, and play for a pot of $2 million each week for your first month, no strings attached. Also check out my link in the description below. When Tony Annese was announced as head coach at Ferris State in 2011, there were some question marks around the program. The school was coming off a 6-5 season in head coach Jeff Pierce's 17th season. Pierce impressed with the 102-85 record, but had not made the playoffs since 1996 and had not beaten rival Grand Valley State since 1999. Pierce had played defensive back for the Bulldogs from 1974 to 1977 and started his coaching career as a grad assistant in 1983 and moved up the ranks before becoming the defensive coordinator and later head coach in 1995. Athletic director Perk Weisenberger said in a statement, after evaluating our program over the past 2 seasons, it's become apparent that it's time for a change. In order to promote the future success of our football program, new leadership is needed. Therefore, as of December 1st, Jeff Pierce will no longer serve as head football coach at Ferris State University, and a search for a successor will begin immediately. Regretfully, and with the utmost respect for the time and effort Jeff has devoted to our program, this action is needed at this point in time. Our effort remains focused on building the Bulldogs into a championship contending football program. We appreciate the service, commitment, and dedication that Jeff, his family, and his coaching staff have provided for Ferris State over the years. Annese started his coaching career as an assistant at Muskego Catholic Central High School, where he would spend the next 24 seasons at the high school level coaching in Michigan. Annese led Muskego High School to Division II state championships in 2004, 2006, and 2008, and compiled a record of 195-41 in 22 years at the high school level. He was named to the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame as well. In 2009, he was hired as the head coach at JUCO Grand Rapids, and in his first season, Grand Rapids was named the top non-scholarship JUCO program in the nation, following a 9-2 season. It was an award they handed out from 2000 to 2010. In 2010, they would go 10-2, and in 2011, they finished 11-0. In their first season under Annese, the Bulldogs would secure their first win over Grand Valley State in 13 years and finish with a 7-4 record, their best finish in years. They would follow the next season with an 8-3 record. In 2014, they would finish the year 11-1 and won the GLIAC titles for the first time since 1999 and first outright title since 1996. They followed that up with an 11-1 record once again and won the title for a second year in a row in 2015. In both seasons, they would lose in the second round of the Division II playoffs. In 2016, they would finish the season 12-3 and made it to the semifinals of the playoffs. The following year, they would finish 11-2 and made the quarterfinals of the playoffs. In 2018, they would start the season 15-0 and made the national title game for the first time in school history, where they took on Valdosta State in a thrilling game that ended with Valdosta State winning 49-47 after Ferris State failed on a late 2-point conversion. The following year, they made it back to the semifinals and finished the 2019 season 12-1. Due to the events of 2020, the season would be canceled, but 2021 would be a magical season, as Ferris State returned to the national title game for the second time in school history and blew out the Blazers 58-17 to secure their first national title in school history, finishing 14-0. In 2022, they would go 14-1 and repeated as national champions, beating Colorado School of Mines 41-14. Following the game, 2 unnamed players would smoke cigars inside the locker room. This would lead to Coach Annese being suspended for the next playoff game as a cigar smoke occurred on the McKinney Independent School District grounds. McKinney Independent School District has a strict no tobacco policy on school district property. According to footballscoop.com, Ferris State did the same thing following their championship in 2021 and was served a fine for the behavior. Notably, that incidents did also occur at McKinney Independent School District. Ferris State would finish the 2023 season 8-3, and without Annese on the sideline for their first round matchup against Grand Valley State, the Bulldogs would lose 21-14. Heading into the 2024 season, Ferris State was picked to finish first in the GLIAC and came into the season as the third-ranked team in the preseason polls by the AFCA. They were coming off a stretch that saw them play and win 2 of the last 3 national titles, going 36-4 over the last 3 season span. They were coming off a disappointing 8-3 season in 2023, where they lost in the first round of the Division II playoffs, their first loss in the first round under Annese, and their earliest elimination from the playoffs since 2015, when they lost in the second round. They returned most of their skill position players and 60-plus letter winners, while holding on to their entire coaching staff from 2023. They had 3 preseason All-Americans on their roster, and junior offensive tackle Bryce Georgia as a first-team choice, and 2 honorable mentions in junior quarterback Carson Golker and senior wide receiver Tyrese Hunt Thompson. Golker set the school's single-season record for rushing touchdowns in a season back in 2022 with 31 rushing scores. They opened up the season on the road against a top 10 ranked opponent in Pittsburgh State, located in Kansas. They would fall to the Gorillas 19-3 to start the season 0-1, but that would be their only loss of the season in week 0 of the season. They would proceed to dominate their opponents through the month of September, beating Lake Erie 56-3, Ashland 43-3, and American International 84-7, outscoring their opponents 183-13 in the month of September. They would continue their dominant streak with a win over Roosevelt in the conference opener 55-13. They would then travel to take on Wayne State in a game that would take place over a 2-day span. The Bulldogs would take a 10-0 lead when the game would be stopped due to lightning and inclement weather with 8:04 left in the second quarter. The game would resume at 11 a.m. on Sunday, and Ferris State would extend their lead to 17 right before half. The Warriors would fight back in the third quarter, making it a 17-14 game. Ferris State would cruise to a 27-14 win when all was said and done. After the game, Annese said, "The Warriors were the Warriors, give them credit. They played really hard. It's not easy being where they are. Coach Tyron Wheatley is trying to build a program. Mad respect for how they performed against us. Also, we played the game over 2 days. No excuses, but I don't ever want to play back-to-back days ever again. The third thing for us is that we had a lot of self-inflicted wounds. That has been our topic." They followed that up with a win over Michigan Tech 51-13 to head into a major matchup against Grand Valley State, sitting at 6-1. What was even more impressive is they were doing this without their starting quarterback. Golker broke his leg in multiple places earlier in the season, and he told Holland Sentinel, "It was in the second game of the year. Early in the first quarter, I was running and someone's knee came down on me, and I snapped my fibula and tibia bones. I did the exact same thing Hutch from the Detroit Lions defensive lineman Aiden Hutchinson did, and I'm out for the year. There's no chance I can make it back." Trinidad Chambliss would step in and take his place, performing well, leading the Bulldogs to being the third-ranked team in the nation heading into the Grand Valley game. Grand Valley was the top team in the country at the time. Ferris State would not just win the game, but dominated, going into Lubber Stadium and winning 34-7 on the road. They not only took control of the GLIAC, but also won the Anchor Bone Trophy. They proceeded to travel to take on Northern Michigan and dominated them, winning 55-9. Saginaw Valley State would give Ferris State their toughest conference game of the season. Ferris State would go up 27-24 in the fourth quarter before the Cardinals missed a 49-yard field goal with 4:49 left in the game to possibly tie the game. The Bulldogs would run out the clock to win the game, and Annese said after the game, "In the last 3 weeks, Harding was number 1, they lost. Then Grand Valley was number 1, they lost. Then Pittsburgh State was number 1, and they lost. Then here comes Ferris State. Thank God we held on, because it's just been crazy." Since the Pittsburgh State game, Ferris State had outscored opponents 405-69, with the Cardinals scoring the most points against the Bulldogs all season long. They would close out the regular season winning 24-9 to finish the regular season 10-1. They would earn a spot in the Division II playoffs for the 10th straight season and were named the top seed in Super Region 3. They would earn a first-round bye and hosted Central Oklahoma in the second round of the Division II playoffs. They would dominate, winning 78-17, or defeating defending Division II national champions Harding in the quarterfinals 41-7. In the semifinals, Slippery Rock would take a 38-27 lead at half, or the Bulldogs shut them out and scored 21 unanswered points to win 48-38 and earn a spot in the Division II national title game. For the fourth time in school history, where they would take on Valdosta State for the third time, a school I did a video on before the start of the season. It was their third time matching up with Valdosta State in the title game. The Bulldogs put up 513 total yards in the semifinals and looked to win their third national title in 4 years. Heading into the game, Chambliss was selected as a Harlan Hill Trophy finalist. The Bulldogs were on a 13-game winning streak, outscoring opponents 623 to 164 during that streak. Ferris State would dominate Valdosta State in the national title game to win 49 to 14, secured their third national title in 4 years. It would score on the first play from scrimmage and never looked back, as Chambliss finished with 153 yards and 3 passing touchdowns, while also rushing for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns on 13 carries on the ground. It became the 5th program since Division II began in 1973 to win 3 titles in 4 seasons. Chambliss finished the season throwing for 26 passing touchdowns and 25 rushing touchdowns. Ferris State was honored by the Big Rapids City Commission yesterday, and it will be interesting to see who is playing quarterback next year, with Chambliss and Golker both possibly coming back next season. Annese has won 3 national titles, 7 GLAC titles, and has put together a 137-21 record at Ferris State. He has had the opportunity for bigger jobs in the past, but explained turning them down, saying, "I've got great players," which is probably the biggest force of me saying, "Man, this is a great spot. I've got great players. People want to talk about bigger is better. Ultimately, there's some things about big-time college football that is a red flag for me. I want a kid to know that my loyalty matters, and the most of our guys are here for 4, 5, 6 years. I'm not getting guys that are in and out. Our best players are guys that have been here for the duration." Man, that to me is like high school football right there, where you're taking a freshman in high school and then he's a senior and then you cry when he graduates. That's how I want it to be. I don't know if I really could be satisfied knowing that I'm just trying to buy a team every week or every year. There's a lot about a bigger program that I don't like. He has his 2 sons and nephew on his current staff. His son Steve is their offensive coordinator and his nephew Tony is their co-defensive coordinator. What do you think? Who wins the 2025 Division II national title? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.